What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Smoking Android. I am Jared, and as promised, this is part one of our review of the LG Optimus 4G LTE from Bell Mobility. And just to let you guys know, I heard you all complaining about the video quality, so I went out and bought a brand new Canon Rebel T3i. So hopefully that'll alleviate some of the video eyesores that you've have to deal with in the past. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. Okay, everybody, so without getting too much into what we've already talked about in the last video, and if you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend you go to my channel and look for the unboxing on this. We talk a little bit about some of the hardware features, but we didn't talk about some of the inner workings. This is a Qualcomm 1.5 gigahertz dual core processor, so that's really nice, as well to complement it with a 1 gig of DDR2 RAM. So technically speaking, this should be a multitasking beast. Now, moving into the home screen, you'll notice that LG's done something a little bit different when you go ahead and try to customize your screen. You go ahead and long press on it. You'll notice right away that it jumps right into widgets and a new window sort of pops up. And in this window, you're able to select all the widgets that are available to you, so you can kind of get an idea of what they're going to look like, or sorry, not what they're going to look like, but the ones that are available to you in this type of a view, as opposed to going through different menus. And of course, you've got shortcut folders and wallpaper. I'm not going to show you a live wallpaper because it was absolutely atrocious. It was like, I can't even explain to you how slow it was, which was really disappointing with a phone with these types of hardware specs inside of it. Now, we'll go ahead and talk about the overall user experience. LG's done a really great job with keeping this pretty basic, pretty vanilla Android. They haven't done huge overhauls like Samsung's done with their TouchWiz or Motorola with Moto Blur. They've actually kept it quite simplistic, starting out with sort of the dock bar down there looking elegant and simple and also customizable. So really, you know, if you don't feel like it, you don't really need to download a third-party launcher like Launcher Pro or, you know, ADW or anything like that. Now moving into applications, you'll notice that the app drawer itself is broken into categories, which are also expandable and collapsible for to sort of clean it up a little bit. All the preloaded user apps are in applications. Sorry, not user apps. All the preloaded apps are in applications. All the user downloaded apps are in downloads, and I've gone ahead and created my own personal category games here with some of the preloaded games that the phone actually comes with. And if we're on that topic, talking about some of the preloaded apps, they've actually done a pretty good job, at least the Bell version. Not too much bloatware. Of course, there's going to be some carrier stuff going on there, but it's not too busy, so that was really nice to see. But some of the cool apps that have come with this phone are things like Smart Share, and where was the other one? There's another one for sharing or something like that. Well, anyways, I can't find it. Either way, it does have, it's capable of streaming media wirelessly via DNLA, so you can stream it to DLNA enabled TVs, or you can use, you'd be using the DLNA using LG Smart Share app, as well as you can use Wi-Fi Direct Send and Share. So that was pretty cool. So you don't even have to have a router or anything like that. So Wi-Fi, from what I understand, if both phones are on Wi-Fi, you're able to transfer files to and from, which was really, really cool. Now, moving into the customization of the sort of app drawer here, you'll notice layout, manage apps, and manage categories. Layout is basically just the look of the app drawer itself. Category is the basic view here, as you can see, just sort of your simple up and down scrolling. Page is side scrolling, and list is just to categorize lists in alphabetical order. So I'm like fingering the camera right now. You guys don't deserve that, I'm sorry. It's just a list of alphabetically organizing all the apps for you. Now, if we're going to go ahead and move on over to manage categories, as you can see, it's got a couple of predefined categories like I talked about earlier. But of course, if you wanted to create your own, it's just that easy. You hit add, type in what you want, click save, and it'll appear here. And furthermore, you can manage your categories by moving them up and down. Now, let's say, for instance, we wanted to manage the apps that are in the categories. You'd hit Manage Apps, and you'd go ahead and select the app that you want, and just go ahead and drag it down to whatever category. Or, of course, you can remove the apps as well. As well, in addition, you can customize the two apps in the middle of the dock bar by simply dragging and dropping apps in and out as you please. So that was pretty cool. Now we're going to go ahead and move on into settings. In the settings menu, we're going to go directly to display, and the reason behind that is because they've actually added the option to change the system font. So you've got all these different options here to choose from. I've obviously selected this one because I'm just that kind of guy, and it just changes it really nice throughout the entire phone, so that's kind of a nice feature. As well as the screen optimization. Screen optimization is a feature that LG's added for us, just in case you happen to download an app that isn't compatible with a 720p resolution screen. This will optimize it for that. And moving down to motion sensor calibration. From what I understand, I was actually able to use it yesterday, but it doesn't seem to be working today. Moving your apps or widgets from one screen to the other can be a bit of a pain in the butt sometimes because you have to kind of pinch it off to the side, and sometimes you just have to hold it there and wait for it. So what they've done is enabled you to actually tilt the phone and use the accelerometer to move the app or widget from screen to screen. So that was a really nice feature. Now, if we're going to go back into settings and back to display, we're going to look at the screen brightness. Auto brightness is auto brightness, but just want to show you how bright the screen gets. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but it gets quite bright and quite dim at the same time. My Motorola Atrix dimmest setting is still too bright for me when I'm, receiving messages at night when I'm in bed or something like that. It just blinds me. So I found that this particular dim setting is just perfect. It doesn't hurt my eyes at all, but of course if you're in the sun, you can bump it all the way up and be able to see everything. So we'll go ahead and set that back down to a realistic, real person brightness. Now, moving on to the camera app. The camera itself I found to be satisfactory at best. However, the actual application itself I found to be pretty cool. A bit of a step above most stock camera applications that phones come with. It's got a slew of different options here for you to choose from, and of course it records in full 1080p at 30 frames per second. I did find that in dark low light setting situations it did quite poorly, and if you're outside in bright conditions it was a bit overexposed. So as far as that's concerned, you can always go and download third-party apps that might do a little bit might change it up for you a little bit more. Another feature I thought was really cool was when you do receive a message or notification, and you do actually happen to notice it, because if you'll notice, this phone doesn't actually have a LED notification light. But anyways, you get a notification, and you'll notice on the lock screen there that it actually has a notification available for you. And all you have to do, whether it's a text message or email, is you just go ahead and drop it down. It'll launch right into it for us, which was really neat. Now, you just noticed that I was in the email there, and it wasn't my regular Gmail. It was actually LG's proprietary, or at least stock, email application. You'll notice it's pretty basic there, but the real cool part is when you turn it to landscape mode. And you'll notice that it's got... It's been split into two different windows. You've got your preview window here, and obviously your email list there. So if you were to click on one, then you'd be able to preview it here, and it actually compresses it quite nicely. And because of the pixel density and the beautiful 720p display, it's actually quite easy on the eyes to read. Now, moving on to the dialer app, I really liked the fact that they included the capability to look up contacts with just typing in a couple of their letters of their name. I noticed in some other manufacturers' phone dialer app thingies that they weren't able to do that. You'd have to literally get into your contacts list and go and try and locate the contact that you want to call. That was a big pain in the butt for me, especially with the Motorola Atrix, because stock that wasn't available. So I actually had to download a custom firmware with another custom dialer in order to get that for me. So that was a nice feature on their part. Now, when we're looking at the web browser, go ahead and open that up here. My web browsing experience was satisfactory, I suppose. I was a little disappointed with the speed of it, the browsing speed. Now, as far as loading up pages, like for instance, we'll go to XDA. XDA, because they do have a fair amount of flash content on their home screen, on their home page. Oh geez, what am I doing? There we go. And what I noticed is that you're unless you're there to or using the phone's browser to just sort of browse news articles slowly, you'll notice how choppy this is right now. 1.5 gigahertz dual core with 1 gig of RAM should not be behaving like this. Okay, that is absolutely atrocious. Double tap to zoom. Okay, really choppy. Try pinch to zoom. I mean, that's really, really bad. But once you do find, okay, come on, get over there. Once you do find what you're looking for, you'll notice that if you're just scrolling, it starts to smooth out after a while, but it's not really displaying it too well here. Either way, I wasn't too impressed with the browsing experience, but I do like the overall UI of it because you do have the buttons to move forwards and back, as well as look at some of the other pages that you've been to. Earlier today I had a couple of pages that I was testing out, and it's just kind of a carousel motion here, and you just kind of flip through the pages, so, nice and quick and easy. So that's basically the overall, my opinion of the browser experience. I really was not all that impressed. Now, if we want to talk about ice cream sandwich update, because I know everyone's wondering, is it going to be getting an ice cream sandwich? Yes, it is going to be getting ice cream sandwich. LG has announced, as well as other carriers, that they will be supporting ice cream sandwich for these devices this year. The only problem is that from what I understand, at least rumors are that when they said they were thinking about releasing it, we've kind of passed that point in time. So they said it's still going to come out this year, but I believe it's probably going to be, you can probably look forward to it in Q3. So that's kind of with that. But to kind of give you an idea that they will, you'll notice that the capacitive buttons, there's only 3 of them instead of 4. And the reason behind that is because ice cream sandwich builds now only have the 3 on-screen buttons. So they've kind of gotten the device ready for the upgrade already. Now, whether or not it'll have the on-screen buttons, I don't know. But if they just integrate these capacitive buttons with it, that'll be more than okay. One other thing that I wanted to mention, you'll notice that these buttons turn off really fast. And because the phone is so dark that when they do turn off, it's almost impossible to see them. But it's okay, because if you get used to it, you'll know after a while, and you get used to the fact that the home button's here, the volume button's there, and the back button's there. And there's enough space between them that you're not going to overlap and end up hitting the home button when you're trying to hit the back button. Because if you do, you should probably go to the doctor. So, that's... You can expect ice cream sandwich in the future, so that's really nice to hear, because this is a nice device, and with the dual core 1.5 gigahertz and the lack of performance with the web browsing and the live wallpapers, it'd be really nice to see ice cream sandwich running on it with dual core support. So that's something to look forward to in the future. Now stay tuned, because in the next video we will be putting this device through a slew of testing on things like the battery life with both average and heavy usage, CPU performance, the GPU performance, how the screen behaves in direct sunlight, and heavy multitasking. I'm going to be doing some vigorous testing, as well as benchmarks and all that good stuff. All that in the next video. So make sure you subscribe and keep an eye out for that in the future. And for the Smoking Android, this is Jared. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Hopefully you like the new video quality. As you can see, I've got this beautiful manual focus, so I can really get in tight there. And alright guys, anyways, until next time, the Smoking Android signing out. Oh, and we'll focus. And focus. Bye.